You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Y&R fans. Well, Sharon Newman actually seems to have murdered someone. And in some early spoilers for next week, she makes a confession that leaves her family reeling and Daniel having to tell his daughter bad news. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we're going to dive into what Sharon confessed and who she confessed it to in this glimpse at Y&R official spoilers for next week. So in the week ahead, we're going to have a couple of pivotal scenes, and at least one of them should happen on Monday. The scene with Nick, Mariah, and Faith, where Sharon is talking about a confession, and the other scene is with the family of her murder victim, Heather Stevens' boyfriend and daughter. So let's talk about the victim stuff first. So Lucy and Daniel are at the apartment. They're sitting on the couch and Lucy's like, "Dad?" And he seems distracted by something. And he tells her, "Your mom's not coming home." And it looks like Daniel is looking down at something in his hand, maybe his phone. Just by the tone and how he looks, it doesn't seem to be him telling Lucy, "Your mom's dead." It's not phrased dramatically enough, and "your mom's not coming home" seems like not the best way to start telling somebody that their mom is dead. And if you remember, Sharon packed that bag of evidence of the crime, the glass, the whiskey bottle, bloody towels, all that, but she also included in there Heather's stuff, including her phone. And then we know Sharon has been in and out of fugue states where she blacks out, comes to with no idea what she's done, how she got where she got. And I just wonder, based on this event we're going to have with Daniel and Lucy, if Sharon sent a text to him from Heather's phone saying she's gone out of town or she's, leaving them for a while. She might have texted that Heather's going to Portugal to see her dad, Paul, or she's going back to Savannah to just look for a job because there's been bad job interviews in Genoa City. So she might even text and say, teenage Lucy is just too much to deal with right now. Daniel's irritating her. She could make it personal or professional. And if that's what Sharon did, if she sent a text from Heather's phone to Daniel, then it could buy her some time. Not a lot of time, but a little time. We have to assume at this point that Sharon really did wrap up Heather and dispose of her body. The question is, how did she actually die, and did Sharon do it? So there was broken glass all over the floor. So Heather could have fallen onto some glass, and if it got deep enough into her head, she could have bled out. Even if Sharon didn't personally cause the head trauma, though, her breaking into the apartment is a crime, and Heather dying during the commission of a crime would definitely make Sharon guilty. Even if Heather, was lashing out at her and Sharon did something in self-defense, Sharon would still be in the wrong because she's broken into their place. That's where Heather has a right to protect herself. But if she does send a text to Daniel, that's going to give her a little more wiggle room. And now let's talk about the big confession. So on Friday's episode, which was Sharon Case's 30th anniversary with Young and the Restless, Sharon spent time at Cassie's grave and then decided she knew what she had to do. So it seems like there might have been a lapse in time between the cemetery and when Sharon came home. It would give her enough time to go to the police or somebody involved with Heather and Daniel, someone like Phyllis, maybe her psychiatrist. So this scene is likely on Monday because the week ends this week with Sharon walking in the door to her home and her family being there and being very relieved to see her. Nick was just about to go looking for her when she showed up. So Sharon sits down and she says, "That's why I confessed." And Nick and Mariah are there. I'm sure Faith is too. And Nick asks her, "Confessed to what?" So at the moment, Sharon is quite certain that she killed Heather, even though she doesn't remember doing it. And what's kind of a red flag to me is some of the events are similar to how she killed Cameron Kirsten more than 20 years ago, the first time she thought she killed him. Back then, of course, he wasn't really dead, but she had checked him for a pulse, all that stuff. She had bashed him in the head with a champagne bottle, and then Sharon tossed his corpse into a dumpster, which is fitting because he's garbage. And Sharon really thought he was dead, but Cameron was not. He wound up in prison. And then when he got out and came and started it again, she killed him for good. So I do expect Sharon is probably going to tell the family she's spinning out, she's blacking out, she's losing time. She's seeing Cameron Maybe she's going to tell them she attacked Heather at the apartment. If she does, they're going to be absolutely horrified, especially if she tells them she dumped the body. However, this could be something where Sharon confessed to her doctor, something like that her medication isn't working. I just don't really trust that they're going to come out and come clean with everything so quickly. So we'll see. And I do wonder if this slaying of Heather is what brings a recast character back to Young and the Restless. If you remember, Valerie Pettiford debuts as Amy Lewis on October 29th. That is right as November Sweeps is kicking off. I do wonder if Amy is going to be the new police chief, replacing Paul Williams after all this time. If she is, Amy would be in town about 4 weeks after Sharon's confession. And maybe it'll take all that time to find the body, to corroborate her confession, because she's so mentally unwell that they can't know if her confession is legitimate, if she really did something or is just saying she did it. They need the body. I'm sure that Nick is going to want to check Sharon into Fairview ASAP for 2 reasons. One is that she desperately needs therapy and to get her medication situation sorted. She is taking pills, but they're not working. And that happens, but they just need to get her on new stuff. And the second thing, if Nick has her check in there and the body is found, then Sharon might be able to avoid an immediate arrest. Michael Baldwin can help with the whole not guilty by reason of insanity thing. So I could see it taking a few weeks for Heather Stevens' body to be found downstream from where Sharon dumped it. But honestly, what I really hope is Heather's not dead. I mean, what a truly terrible way to honor Sharon Case's 3 decades on the CBS soap by having Sharon kill an innocent woman. However, I put nothing past Josh Griffith. I mean, at this point, I'm starting to worry that this plot is going to have Sharon sent to prison or for a very long stint at a mental hospital, and then they slide Sharon Case into recurring status, because for more than a year, she's been rarely seen. It did come out later that she had asked for some time off, but still, Sharon's been largely MIA, and fans wanted to know why. So if this is a twisted plan to write Sharon off of Young and the Restless or drastically reduce her role, fans aren't going to like that. And as I said, murder is no way to celebrate 30 years of being on a job. There's no official word, by the way, from either Y&R or Vail Bloom that she's ended her run as Heather. As of the time I'm taping this, nothing is official. I had somebody in the comments here saying Vail Bloom confirmed on Instagram. No, she did not. And the websites that act as mouthpieces for the soap opera's PR departments, none of them have confirmed it. They've all posted things like, is Heather Stevens leaving? Is Vail Bloom done? That nobody has stated it. There is one website reporting it, and they have no proof and no contacts within the soap, and they didn't explain why they're saying it. So no, they are assuming, and they published without proof. So I'm not going to say Vail Bloom is done as Heather Stevens. So yeah, if you look at these other headlines, there's a question mark. Nobody knows. There's no official confirmation. But here's the thing. Wouldn't it be bizarre if Heather started showing up as a hallucination, just like Camryn? I mean, that would be wicked. So even if she is dead, Vail Bloom's run might not be done. So we'll see where they are going with this. Check back for dated daily spoilers tomorrow. And please subscribe if you haven't. And definitely come back soon. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt talking Young and the Restless every single day of the week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.